Hey, shalom, shalom. Before I get started with this live lesson, I'd like to give all praise and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash. Once again, double honors to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone that taught me this truth that rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful 144 elect. This is your brother Kawas coming at you with another lesson in this truth, 24/7, 365. Once again, Israel, this is what I do to get you in the mood. Kwam Yasharallah. Rise, Israel. We got next, baby, any day now. Guaranteed. Can't wait. Book it. The two most important things you'll ever know as a Hebrew Israelite in this knowledge, in this truth, is the name of our power, which is Yahweh, and the name of his son, which is Yahweh Shai. Esau Edom, E-S-A-U. Esau Edom is the so-called white man. He's not white, but he's red. He's our red, sinister, Hebrew big brother enemy, Esau Edom. We are Jacob of the Bible. You got that? Good. My preface precept is in the book of Philippians, chapter 2, verse 5. And it reads, "Let this mind be in you, which was also in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai." That was Philippians chapter 2, verse 5 as my preface precept. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Copyright Act of 1976.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Copyright Act of 1976.
1 Peter 4. For as much then as Christ hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lusts of men, but to the will of God. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards, and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Wherefore lift up the hands which hang down, and the feeble knees, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed.
This is, let's go here. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13 and 14. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13 and 14. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Let me just do something real quick. Make sure this is nice and big. There we go. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. the conclusion of the whole matter of life, your purpose of living. Fear Yahweh. That's the mindset you want to have in 2026. Happy New You. Happy New You. That's the mindset you want to have in 2026. The fear of Yahweh in your mind and your spirit. This scripture is a scripture that it says the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. It doesn't say the love of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. I'm in Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh in 2026, point blank, period. That's the new you. You walk in fear of Alashadya, demon-like power, the power of the universe. Let me grab this real quick. Nahum, check this out. This is why you should fear Yahweh. This is why you should fear Yahweh. Check this out. Nahum 1, verse 4 and 5, referring to the Most High Yahweh and his son Yahushua, who's melanated men with beards, afros, and attitudes. Nahum 1, verse 4 and 5. He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry. What type of power can rebuke the sea and maketh it dry, and drieth up all the rivers? There's no power, there's no human being on planet Earth, nowhere, that can rebuke the sea and make it dry and dry up all the rivers. Bashan languishes, and Carmel and the flower of Lebanon languishes at the power of Yahweh. Before he was known as Yahweh, before he gave the name to Moses of Yahweh, he was known as Baalashadya, demon-like power, for what he did to the Egyptians. Verse 5, Nahum 1. The mountains quake at him. That's why the new you in 2026, you must fear this power. His name is Yahweh. His son is Yahushua. You must fear the power that can make mountains quake and hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence. Yea, the world and all that dwell therein. Damn, there was a precept last night with the brother Mashiach. We did a New Year's Eve of destruction he brought out that was fire. I should have written it down. Damn, I don't think I can remember it, but I'm gonna definitely have to put that in my arsenal when it comes to the fear of the Most High. But I got another one real quick. Check this out. Let's go to the Apocrypha, Second Esdras. Hold on, bear with me. Hold on. Let's go to the Apocrypha, Second Esdras 13 real quick. Right to the point. Right here. Second Esdras 13, verse 3 in the Apocrypha. And what led me here? What led me here was Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh, point blank, period, and keep his commandments, his ordinances. Why? For this is the whole duty of man. The point is fear Yahweh. Here's another reason, and I went to Nahum 1, 4, and 5 to prove that, and I'm going to Second Esdras 13 and 3 to prove it in the Apocrypha. And I beheld, and lo means look, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. This is Yahushua when he cracked these clouds and what the world called a spaceship, a UFO, with thousands of angels, an innumerous amount of angels. Michael, the archangel, King David. And when he turned, who's he? Yahushua, the son of Yahweh. And when he turned his countenance to look. So when Yahushua looked on planet Earth, looked at men, looked at the earth, all the things trembled that were seen under him. So that's a beautiful, horrifying, lovely, scary, magnificent, horrific power. So back to Ecclesiastes 12, verse 14. For Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment. And you must keep that in mind in 2026, this new you, as you walk in fear of the Most High Yahweh, that he shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing. So there's no more secret things, no more committing adultery on a down low, no more homosexual on the down low, no more whoremongering on the down low, no more a lesbian bulldagging on the down low, no more recreational marijuana smoking on the down low, no more occasional pork pepperoni pizza eating on the down low, no more going to church every once in a while on the down low, no more praying to Caesar Borgia on the down low, things of that nature. With every secret thing, whether it be good and you want it to be good in 2026, or whether it be evil. So he already saw the secret things that you've done on the evil side. Now it's time to satisfy him with the secret things on the right-hand side, which is worshiping Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, fearing Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai, getting into this truth, dying daily to your flesh, ruling your home in righteousness, having a dietary law, a civil law, a moral law, and a high holy day. That was Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13 and 14. I think I'm gonna go, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go backwards. Let's go to the Apocrypha, Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, verse 1 through 6. Because this whole chapter is hot. I could do the lesson on this whole chapter, but I'm not going to do that. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1 through 6. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai in 2026, this new you that walks in fear of the Most High Yahweh, who call on the name of Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai, right? Prepare thy soul for temptation. What is your soul? Your mind, your will, and your emotions. Prepare your soul, your mind, your will, and your emotions for temptation. This whole carnal, sinful, evil, wicked world under Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is full of temptation. You look on TV, you see pork, crab, and lobster on one plate. Shrimp, crab, and lobster on, like I said, on one. You got ribs, crab, and shrimp on one plate. You know, you turn to your phone, you see all kind of women shaking their rumps and things of that nature. You see these other nations eating raw crab, live crabs, and live octopus and shit. If you come to serve the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, prepare thy soul for temptation. Second verse, set thy heart aright, just like you set your clock on whatever particular time you want to wake up. Set your heart, your mind aright. So set your heart, your mind on aright, and constantly endure by having fear, by dying daily to your flesh. Constantly endure by having fear of the Most High, by dying daily to your flesh, saying no to your flesh. The biggest word in the English vocabulary is no. No, I don't want it. No, I don't need it. No, thank you. And make no haste in time of trouble. Don't make quick decisions in times of trouble. Calm down. Relax, chill. Let the Most High work. He's not in fear and nervousness. When you're fearful and nervous and scared, he's not in that. Calm down, relax. Make no haste in time of trouble. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying having fear in a situation is not fear of the Most High. Two different fears. The fear in the situation is not faith. You're not supposed to be fearful of nothing but the Most High. I don't give a damn what your landlord said, what your boss said, what your spouse said, what the doctor said. You have no fear. No fear here. No worry flurries. No concerns learned ever. We don't have pity parties. You invite pity to the party. We don't do that. We believe in the Most High Yahweh. We set our heart aright, and we make no haste in time of trouble. Third verse, Sirach 2, verse 3. Cleave unto him and depart not away in 2026. That's the new you. Now you're locked in. Cleave to the Most High, like Velcro, like white on rice. Cleave unto him, Yahweh, and depart not away in 2026, that you may be increased in at the last end. And with that new you that you will be walking in 2026, that new you that walks in the fear of the Most High. When you have that type of mindset, when you prepare your soul for temptation, the Most High will increase you spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially in these last days. Everyone will notice your increase, that you may be increased in the last end. And that's what we want in 2026. We want to be increased. That's part of that happy new you, right? Cleaving unto him and depart not away. Fourth verse, Ecclesiastes 2, verse 4. Whatsoever, so that's all the above, is brought upon you in 2026, upon thee, take cheerfully. Hold on. Got to swallow that for a minute. Let's meditate. Whatsoever, all the above, is brought upon thee in 2026, take cheerfully. Okay, I got it. I swallowed that. And be patient, long suffering, when you are changed to a low estate. And that's the problem with this generation. They believe taking an L, or they call it a loss. A L is not a loss, it's a lesson. And the example I like to use is, see, if that car note is stressing you out, if that mortgage is stressing you out, if all those credit card bills are stressing you out, get rid of them. Oh, no, brother, I can't do that, brother. Okay. Well, the scripture says, be patient when you're changed to a low estate. It says also, whatever is brought upon you, take cheerfully. So what I try to say to a lot of people, like it's like a parked car. Occasionally, when your car is parked, you may have to put it in reverse in order to get out that area, and then put it in drive and go forward. So taking a lesson, or you want to call it a loss, is not a good thing. Going backwards is not a good thing, because sometimes you may have to go backwards in order to go forward, just like with a vehicle. If your vehicle is in a tight squeeze, you may have to put it in reverse in order to get out of that. Most of the time you do. So how much more in life? How much more in 2026? You may have to get rid of that car note. You may have to get rid of those credit card bills. You may have to move into a cheaper place. That's why the scripture says, and be patient, long suffering, when you are changed to a low estate. And that could be in any area. Why? Because it said in the beginning of the scripture, whatsoever is brought upon you. You may lose your job. You may get ridiculed with the brothers, or whatever. The scripture says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. And be patient when you're changed to a low estate. So it's not a loss, it's a lesson, right? Putting it in reverse is okay in order for you to get in drive to go forward, right? Fifth verse. I'm only going to go to verse 6. Sirach 2, verse 5. This is one of the reasons why. For gold is tried in the fire. And 2026 will be a lot of fire, pressure, temptation, test. But remember the scripture at the beginning, the first verse said, prepare thy soul for temptation. So you got, it is what it is. It's a saying that I like to say, you must enjoy doing what it takes to get the job done. You must enjoy enduring temptation to get the job done. You must enjoy doing It's like a little excited. You must enjoy enduring temptation to satisfy the Most High. You must enjoy fearing the Most High Yahweh. It says, and this is why, for gold is tried in the fire. You must be proven and acceptable men. And that's what we want to be in 2026. Acceptable men and women and children. That's that happy new you. And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. And 2026 will be a furnace of adversity. Yahbashim Yahushua Barakatah, the King Rayab, strive for mastery 144, Shalom Malak. Subscribe and be edified. So myself and King Rayab is doing this lesson. Check out the scriptures on the comment board. That's a lesson within the lesson. 6th verse. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 2 verse 6. Believe in him. Who's him? Yahweh and his son Yahushua. Believe in him and he will help thee in 2026. But you got to believe in him. Not believe in Caesar Borgia, not Dalai Lama Buddha, Ahaya, Ashai, Yeshua, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Caesar Borgia. You must believe in Yahweh and he will help you. Help thee, the one that you fear. You must believe in the one that you fear. You fear your father. I know I did. My father was a big old dark-skinned man. Boy, my mama would say, "Yo, black ass daddy." My dad was a monster of a man. I feared him. And all my brothers did too. I remember one time my brother tried to challenge him. My father he did a hammer fist punch, but he missed because my brother's friend pulled my brother's legs and saved him. My father was about to come out with a hammer fist on my older brother. Bow! You see? I feared my father, but I also believed in him. So how much more the Heavenly Father? You fear Yahweh, but you also believe in him. Believe in him and he will help thee. That's why you believe in him. That's why you fear him. Why? Because he will help thee in 2026 to be the new you. Order thy way aright. Just like you order food, order your way aright in 2026 and trust in him. That's dependency. You must be dependent, 100% dependent on the Most High Yahweh and his son Yahushua in 2026. So that was Sirach chapter or Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1 through 6. This is Matthew 24, verse 13, words in red of our Lord and Savior Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Caesar Borgia. Matthew 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, endure. That is very important in 2026. Enduring, endurance, enduring, being made hardened. But he that shall endure until the end in 2026, the same shall be saved. Saved from what? Saved from Jacob's trouble. What is Jacob's trouble? No jab, no job. Medical martial law, purge, manufactured famine, implementation of the RFID micro C-hip, as well as the ultimate save being delivered out of World War III, ICBM thermonuclear missile hellfire into what the world calls a spaceship. But he that endured till the end, the same shall be saved. And that's the mindset you want to have in 2026. The new you of enduring, walking in the fear of the Most High Yahweh. This is James 5, verse 10 and 11. You know what? All this is hot, but just for the sake of time. James 5, verse 10 and 11. Take, my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. And who are those prophets now? The men of Great Millstone, starting with Apostle Tahar on down. Take, my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, the Lord, for an example of suffering and affliction. You know how hard it is to be in this truth, in this wicked, carnal, evil, sinful world that we're living in now, to be in the truth for 35, 40 years, like Apostle Tahar, Gabar, or Khan or Ramlad, Elder Big Gad. You know how hard it is to do that, to suffer. You know how hard it was in the ancient world for those prophets to be the only man in that city, to be a believer. So we look to the prophets as an example. How much more now, our elder apostles and elder bishops as an example, still out there week in and week out, teaching this truth. Come on now. I mean, man, my back be tightening up every weekend after being on the block. These men have been on the block for 35, 40 years every weekend. You can only imagine how strong their back is. James 5, verse 10. Take, my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua for an example of suffering, affliction, and patience. So suffering, affliction is part of it. See, that's the problem with Christians and backsliders and out of order family members and prosperity gospel lovers and Caesar Borgia lovers and America with the Triple K lovers. They hate that word affliction. They rather hear prosperity. See, no, we like I said earlier, we enjoy doing what it takes to get the job done. So we enjoy enduring affliction. Like Apostle Tahar said a few years back, he said, you must love to suffer. You must love to suffer. And that is contrary to Christianity, Catholicism. See, you must love to suffer. You must endure hardness as a good soldier. For an example of suffering, affliction, and patience, which is long suffering, which is also affliction. 11th verse, James 5. Behold, see, we count them happy which endure. So you want to be happy, you must learn to endure. You must learn to love affliction. You must learn to love to suffer. You must enjoy doing what it takes to get the job done in 2026. Behold, James 5 and 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure. We've died so much to our flesh, those of us that's in this truth over the years, over the decades. We've died to our flesh so much that it's routine. It's like breathing, dying to our flesh, telling our flesh no. Like I said earlier, the biggest word in the English vocabulary is no. Telling your flesh no. And saying yes to Yahushua. Behold, we count them happy which endure. So we are happy mentally, spiritually, emotionally, because we endure. You have heard of the patience of Job, the long suffering of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Because at the end of the chapter of Job, the last chapter, he got back double everything he lost. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is very pitiful, full of pity. But you got to believe that. You got to believe that our power, who we fear, who we honor, who we worship, is pitiful, full of pity. He's merciful, graceful, patient, understanding. But you must qualify for that, for those benefits by walking in fear of the Most High. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is very pitiful, full of pity, and of tender mercy. That's good to know. That was James 5, verse 10 and 11. All that chapter is hot, but for the sake of time, I'm going to move on. Read that at your convenience. This is 1 John chapter 2, verse 7 and 8. 1 John chapter 2, verse 7 and 8. Brethren, I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment which ye had heard from the beginning. Right? And one of those old commandments is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Right? So let's go back. 1 John 2, verse 7. Brethren, I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment which you heard from the beginning. Fear the Most High Yahweh and keep his commandment. The old commandment is the word which you have heard from the beginning. And there's a scripture I don't think I'm gonna go to, but it says, where's that? Is that Titus, where it says, you have no need that I remind you of, you have no need of, golly gee, boy. I think it's in Titus. It could be Jude, but let's bear with it, brother. Come on, Kawas. Is this it? No, it must be Jude. Though you have need to be reminded of this. No, that it must be Jude. Bear with me. Salakia, it kind of came to my mind. Where you at, Jude? Hold on, let me find Jude. Here it is. Jude 1 and 5. Jude 1 and 5. Let me grab that real quick. Jude 1 and 5. Jude 1 and 5. Where you at, Jude? There you are. Jude 1 and 5. What led me here? That little John 1, verse 2 and 7, where it says, 1 John 2, verse 7, where it says, the old commandment is the word which you have heard from the beginning. So that speaks to reincarnation, that we have been here before. The spirit never dies, just your body. So we've heard this before. So let me prove that. Jude 1 and 5. I will therefore put you in remembrance. And that's what the Men of Great Millstone and the Men of Life Doctrine, that's what we're doing in 2026, helping you become the new you by putting you in remembrance of who you are in this truth and this knowledge. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this. Knew what? The commandments. That you once knew to fear the Most High Yahweh and his son Yahushua. How that the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not. So we're putting you in remembrance, though you once knew this. Knew what? Knew that it is your responsibility, your obligation. It is a commandment to fear Yahweh, to die to say no to your flesh and die daily to your flesh, and endure hardness as a good soldier. Set thy when you come into this truth. I'm sorry. How does it go? Prepare thy soul for temptation. Right. So let's go back to that 1 John 2 and 7. Now I think verse 2 and 8 now. 1 John 2 and 8. And Slakia, again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you. Who's him? Yahushua. And in you, this new commandment, which is an old commandment. Remember? It's like a new song. You may hear a new song, but it came out in the 60s. It's new to you, but it's an old song. So this is a new song, but it's really an old song. It's a new commandment, but it's really an old commandment. You get that? And again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him, Yahushua, and in you now in 2026. Why? Because the darkness is past. That old you is past. Walking as a Christian and eating swine's flesh and committing adultery and smoking recreational heroin-based marijuana and calling on Caesar Borgia, believing in the prosperity gospel, voting, celebrating these holidays, celebrating birthdays, right? Eating swine's flesh, eating crab, abominable broth, right? Being a whoremonger, being a lesbian, being a bull dagger, being a beta male, because the darkness is past and the true light now shineth in you in 2026. Isn't that good to know that the darkness is past finally and the true light of this knowledge, this truth, this understanding, this fear of Yahweh and Yahushua is now shineth, right? That was 1 John 2, verse 7 and 8. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. You, thou means you. You therefore endure, be made hardened. You therefore endure hardness in 2026 by dying daily to your flesh. I don't give a damn what your flesh say. Say no to it. I don't give a damn how it's craving a blunt. Take your ass to sleep. Drink some water. Take some Echinacea Golden Seal to clean your blood out. I don't give a damn how horny you are. You say no to adultery. I don't give a damn how you miss bacon and shrimp and crab and lobster and catfish. You say no to it. I don't give a damn how much you miss church. You don't go to that synagogue of Satan where Caesar Borgia dwells. 2 Timothy 2 verse 3. You therefore endure hardness in 2026 as a good soldier in Hamashiach Yahushua. See, a soldier, you don't teach a soldier, right? And then put him on a sofa. You teach a soldier how to fight and you put him in a battlefield. You don't teach a soldier how to go to war and then have him sit behind a desk. You put a soldier in battle. You are a soldier, men. Even you, princess, you are a soldier, not like on the level of a man, but you have a personal battle as well, princess. You got to be modest and feminine and docile and quiet and in order and a helpmate, wearing dresses below your knee, head wraps, braiding your own hair, being in the background. Men, we got to study, read, die daily to our flesh, rule our homes in righteousness, hit the block, do videos, be with camps, be in order. So endure hardness as a good soldier in the Mashiach Yahushua, men and princesses. That was 2 Timothy 2, verse 3. I believe that's all I want. No, verse 4. 2 Timothy 2, verse 4. No man that warreth, like I said, you don't put a soldier behind a desk, you put a soldier in battle. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. And the affairs of this life is Catholicism and Christianity and temptation and pressure and worry and stress and sickness and disease and taxes and high gas prices and high food prices and rent. We don't entangle ourselves with that. Seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take no thought for your life, what you shall eat or what you shall drink. The Most High knows what you need of these things. Let's read that again. 2 Timothy 2, verse 4. No man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life. So we are in a war, men, princesses, that he may please. This is why him, who's him? Yahushua, who has chosen him to be a soldier. You were chosen, bro. Akim, Malachiam, Akwathium. You were chosen to be a soldier by Yahushua. So be you, do you in the spirit. You were chosen to be a soldier. Be the soldier that you're supposed to be. Be the soldier you're supposed to be. Malachiam, Akwathium. That was 2 Timothy 2, verse 3 and 4. This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Wherefore, this is why. Why or wherefore, seeing we are also compassed, that's circled around, compassed, being circled around when the Indians would circle around Esau, compass Esau. Back in it, with the Indians and the Cowboys and the Indians would see Esau and they would circle their ass, just to put a circle around them of horses, and Esau would be in the middle of it with their wagons. So how much more in the spirit? Wherefore, seeing we are compassed, circled about with so great a cloud of witnesses. What does that mean? That means that that this world we're living in, this life that we're living in, as being a soldier in war, it's like an arena, like a coliseum, and the audience are the angels, and they're up there. They're in the audience in the heavens, compassed about us, cheering us on. Go, brother Rayab. Go, Yawasat. Go, Mashiach. Go, Tahar. Go, Mawatazah. Go, Kawas. Go, princess. Endure hardness as a good soldier. Get through this. They're cheering us on. We do have an audience. We do have an audience in the heavens. And our life, the war that we're in this wicked, carnal, sinful, evil world that we're living in, is like the arena or the Colosseum. And we're at war here on earth in the bodies, and the angels in heaven are the audience, compassed about us, cheering us on. Let's read that again. I hope I explained that correctly. Hebrews 12:1. Wherefore, seeing we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, the angels in heaven, let us lay aside every weight of temptation, stress, worry, fear, right? And let us lay aside every weight, right? And the sin which does so easily beset us. And the sin that so easily beset Jake E. Keisha Latino Christian in 2025 is that swine's flesh, adultery, that recreational marijuana, heroin-based marijuana, calling on Caesar Borgia, prosperity gospel, in these holidays. And let us run with patience, because we're at war, we're in an arena, we're in a Colosseum. And let us run with patience, long-suffering, endurance, the race that is set before us in 2026. You see, that was Hebrews 12:1. This is Hebrews 12:6. For whom the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua loveth, he chasteneth. So your father spanked your butt, didn't he? Why? Because he loves you. He chastens. He chastens those that he loves, right? So if you've been getting your spirit whipped in 2025, that's because he loves you. So now in 2026, we always get we're always, how can I say, convicted. We always have a spirit of conviction on us in this truth. That's just part of it. We enjoy being convicted, but the more you grow and the more you fear the Most High Yahweh, and the more you endure hardness as a good soldier and deal with affliction, the less he chastens you. So instead of chastening you all the time, he'll convict you. Now, if you fall off, he's going to whoop that ass spiritually. But like, remember Martin, I don't want to fight no more. See, don't get me wrong. I love to be convicted, but being convicted and getting chastened is two different things. See, when you're chastened, that means he's whooping your butt spiritually. And then eventually you grow to where now you're convicted. Because see, when you learn to enjoy to be convicted, it eliminates the chastening. Just like your father, right? Your dad would whoop your butt. Then eventually you learn not to piss him off. So now, instead of whooping you, he just talks to you. Now, don't do that now. And you're doing better and things of that nature. So instead of getting a butt whooping, now you're being convicted. He'll just talk to you in your spirit. And that's what you want. So by you being chastened in 2025, it's because he loves you. Now in 2026, when you grow in this truth, right? You will be always convicted, which will eliminate the chastening. And the conviction is just as important as the chastening, because conviction means he loves you as well. Conviction means he loves you as well, because he's talking to you. Don't go there, brother. Don't call them. Don't go there. Do that. Don't do this. Do that. Do this. Don't do that. That's the Most High talking to you. You may hear a video and you get convicted. You do it and you grow, man, I got to work on that, bro. See, you'd rather deal with that. You'd rather go through that now because you're more mature than when you was immature, and he would whoop your butt and you would get a disease, a sexual disease, because he told you not to go over there and sleep with her, but you went anyway and you got an STD. He told you not to run home real quick for your lunch break, and you messed around, the car wouldn't start to get back and you lost your job. See, he told you to do all these things in 2025 and you didn't listen and you got chastised. So now 2026, Allow him to convict you. Nah, don't go home for lunch because you may get a flat tire and you may not be able to make it back. Nah, don't go over her house because you know she got a baby daddy. And he be calling her sometime. You see? There's a difference. I hope I explained that right. Let's read it again. Hebrews 12:6. For whom the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai loveth, he chasteneth, and scourges every son whom he receiveth. You see? I believe that's it on that. Yeah, verse 7. Hebrews 12, verse 7. If you endure chastening, and you have in 2025, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? And I remember those days as a Christian, getting excuse my French, my ass whipped spiritually. Just whooping my butt. Why ya? Didn't I tell you not to do that? Why ya? I'm like, I'm sorry. Right? And then I got into the truth. I said, you know what? I don't like that spiritual belt. That hurts. Let me start doing what he say. Like your father. My father, boy, I grew up in an era where they would whoop you with an extension cord. I grew up in an era where the extension cord was routine. What, man, put a whip on you. You go to school with a whip. You're like, boy, my mama got me. Oh, man, please. So I said, nah, man, I don't like that extension cord, bro. I don't like Pop's thick ass long leather belt with the 2-3 holes in it. Nah, I don't like that. Let me start doing what he tell me to do. Let me start listening. Let me start honoring my mother and my father. How much more now? So when you honor the mother, the Most High Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shai, you won't get that spiritual ass whooping. Instead, you will get convicted. He'll speak to you. Hey, don't go there. Do go there. Call them. Don't call them. Do a video. Things of that nature. Don't leave her alone. Leave him alone. Put that marijuana down. Right? That was Hebrews 12, verse 1, as well as verse 6 and 7. This is Romans 13, verse 11 through 14. Romans 13, verse 11 through 14. And that knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep. And that word high time, that term means right now. So let's read it like that. And that knowing the time, that now it is the time or the right time to awake out of sleep. Right now, 2026. In Esau's new year, 2026, it is now the high time, the correct time to wake your ass out of sleep, Jake Eve, Keisha Latino Christian, of that darkness of Christianity and Catholicism and swine's flesh eating and the recreational marijuana smoking and abominable broth eating, adultery, beta males, whoremongering, being a lesbian, a bull dagger. Why? For now is our salvation, our deliverance, our supernatural, our strength, our deliverance nearer than we believed. Like I said, that word salvation is twofold. That's being endowed with supernatural power. Remember, you want to be increased in the latter end. We read that in Sirach 2. You want to be increased in the last end. That's part of salvation. And the ultimate salvation is being delivered out of World War III into what the world calls a spaceship, a UFO. Romans 13, verse 12. This is why the night is far spent. The day is at hand. Let us, those that fear Yahweh and those that fear Yahweh and those that love to get the job done, those that love to suffer, let us therefore cast off the works of darkness we was going through in 2026. That now is happy new you, right? And let us put on the armor of light, which is his knowledge, his truth, and his understanding of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. 13th verse. Oh, bear with me. Romans 13:13. Let us walk honestly with integrity and sincerity and being genuine in 2026, as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness in the spirit, not in chambering and wantonness in the spirit, not in strife and envying like you was in 2025. 14th verse, Romans 13. But with all that being said, this is the most important of it. But put ye on the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Point blank, period. Let this mind be in you that was also in the Mashiach Yahushua. Endure temptation as a good soldier. Whatsoever is brought upon you, take cheerfully. This is the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandment, right? But put ye on your Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua Mashiach and make no provision for the flesh. I keep emphasizing that. You must die daily to your flesh. And some of you, this new you in 2026, you may have to die thousands of deaths a day. You may have to die thousands of deaths a day in order to get to where you need to be in the spirit. So dying daily to your flesh is essential in 2026. Is essential of being the happy new you in 2026. Make no provision for the flesh. My flesh is my slave. Say it. My flesh is my slave. Make no provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. That was Romans 13, verse 11 through 14. This is Galatians 5, right to the point. Galatians 5, verse 16 through 25. I'm gonna read quickly. Galatians chapter 5, verse 16 through 25. This I say then, walk in the spirit, right? Walk. That means live in the spirit. That's the number one thing I got from the head brother Mawatazak of GMS Los Angeles. That's after being with him now for 7 years. The number one, if you can ask me, what have I learned from being around my elder Mawatazak, the head brother GMS LA? He has taught me to stay or walk in the spirit. Stay in the spirit. Walk in the spirit. Let's read it again. Galatians 5, verse 16. Then I say then, walk in the spirit. That means live in the spirit. Stay in the spirit. And ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Point blank, period. That's the happy new you in 2026. You do not want to fulfill the lust of the flesh like you were doing in 2025. So therefore, walk in the spirit, live in the spirit, dwell in the spirit, stay in the spirit in 2026. Verse 17, Galatians 5. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit. It's a battle. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The flesh tell you, nah, man, don't hit the block, brother. It's cold outside. The spirit said, get your ass up and go hit the block. The uglier the day, the better. I learned a long time ago, the uglier the day, the better. I love ugly, gloomy days on a block where there's clouds everywhere. That means the chariots are out. That's all that means, that the chariots are out. We're compassed by such a great witnesses. I love them clear skies in the summertime, them clear, beautiful skies. I like those days too. 110 degrees, whatever. No cloud in the sky. We still see chariots. But I love a gloomy, overcast, cloudy day. And it's true. On a block. Let me read that again. Galatians 5, verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit. No, brother, don't hit the block. It's cold outside. But the spirit say, get your ass up. The chariots are outside. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. So there's a war, a battle. What did Paul say? The things that I do, I shouldn't do. And the things that I shouldn't do, I should do. Wretched man that I am. Who will deliver me from this flesh? And these are contrary to one another. What? The flesh and the spirit. That's why you must die daily to your flesh, so that you cannot do the things that you would do. And that's what you were going through in 2025. Galatians 5, verse 18. But, listen good. But if you be led of the Spirit, walking in the Spirit, you are not under the law, right? Now the works of the flesh are manifest. These are the works of the flesh that you did in 2025. Which are these? Adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, the highest level of lust, right? Idolatry, bringing that tree into your home. Witchcraft, calling on Caesar Borgia, Ahaya, Ashai, Yeshua, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yah. Hatred, hating Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, loving Caesar Borgia. Variance, back and forth with your flesh and your spirit, your intemperance, your temperamental. Emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, and heresies, which are lies, Catholicism. 21st verse. Envying, murders, drunkenness, reveling. Reveling is partying every day of the week. I know people that party every day, getting turned up, and such like, of which I tell you before, as I have told you in the times past, that they which do, listen, that they which do such things, and you did such things in 2025, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. So what do you want? Do you want to fulfill the lust of the flesh, or do you want to inherit the kingdom? That's a no-brainer. I prefer to inherit the kingdom. So therefore, die to your flesh. Die, flesh. Die, flesh. Right? 22nd verse, Galatians 5. But the fruit of the Spirit is love. See, the Spirit will produce these things when you walk in the Spirit, when you do not fulfill the lust of the flesh. When you do these things, your spirit will produce these things, manifest these things in your life. Love, the love of the Most High and His Son Yahushua, and the brotherhood. Joy, the joy that Yahushua gives you, not the world gives you. Peace, which is nothing missing, nothing broken. Completeness. We have peace in this knowledge, this truth, in this wicked, carnal, sinful, evil world, in this wicked, carnal, evil flesh. We have peace in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Long suffering. You will learn how to endure. Hardness as a good soldier. Gentleness in the spirit. Gentleness among family members and friends, and Jake, Keisha, Latino Christian. Gentleness with in life. Goodness, being goodness. Goodness is godlike. When you have goodness, you're godlike. Faith, right? What is faith? Belief, expectation, right? Meekness. Meekness is you're teachable. You can be used. You're humble. You're contrite. Temperance. You know how to control your flesh and your emotions. You're not temperamental. Against such there is no law. 24th verse, Galatians 5. And they that are Hamashiachs have crucified, listen, put to death. Crucified means put to death. And they that are Hamashiachs, and if you are Hamashiachs in 2026, have crucified, put to death the flesh with the affections and lust. 25th verse, Galatians 5. If was the fifth, we all be drunk, right? If my auntie was a man, she'll be my uncle. If the bear wouldn't have stopped to take a shit in the woods, he would have caught the rabbit. If we live in the spirit, and we ought to, and we do live in the spirit, let us walk in the spirit. If you live in the spirit, let us walk in the spirit every day, right? So that's Galatians 5, verse 16 through 25. This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 10. And have put on the new man in 2026, and the new woman, which is renewed, converted, transformed in knowledge, understanding, after the image of him, Yahushua, that created him. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua that created him. 11th verse. Well, that's all I wanted was verse 10. So let's read it again. Colossians 3, verse 10. And have put on the new man in 2026, which is renewed in knowledge of this truth, this understanding, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, after the image of him, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua that created him. Point blank, period. That was Colossians 3, verse 10. This is Ephesians 2, verse Ephesians 2, Ephesians 4, verse 21 through 27. Ephesians 4, verse 21 through 27. If so be that you have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Hamashiach Yahushua. 22nd verse, Ephesians 4. That ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man. That former conversation, the old man, old woman in 2025. All you talked about is men. I mean, all you talked about is women and drugs and getting high and getting turned up and eating and committing adultery and killing niggas and robbing. Keisha, Jakey, all you talk about is getting some rod and getting turned up, shaking your ass, buying a new skirt, right? That you put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, the old woman, which is corrupt. The old man, the old woman in 2025 was corrupt according to the deceitful lust, right? 23rd verse, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind in 2026. And be renewed, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, your heart. Ephesians 4, verse 24. And that you put on, like you put on a jacket, and that you put on the new man, the new woman, which after Yahweh is created in righteousness. So this new you is now created in righteousness and true holiness, godlikeness, purity. Ephesians 4, verse 25. Wherefore, putting away lying. See, when you lie, that means you don't believe the Most High. See, when you lie, you're trying to dictate the outcome. That's why people lie. So they can dictate the outcome. But the problem with lying is the Most High Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua is not in a lie. So by you lying, the Most High is nowhere in that. So therefore, the outcome will not be his will for you. It will be your will for you. So when you lie, that means you don't trust the Most High. So therefore, if you tell the truth all the time, if you tell the truth, now the Most High Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua is involved, and he will work out the outcome for you. Therefore, we do not lie because we believe. So therefore, we tell the truth. And we want the Most High Yahweh to dictate the outcome and not us dictate the outcome by lying. Hope I explained that correctly. Ephesians 4, verse 25. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Verse 26. Let me see. Is this what I want to bear with me? What did I say? The verse 20. Yeah, that's all. No, yeah. I'm gonna go to verse 27. Verse 24, Ephesians 4. I'm sorry, verse 25. Wherefore I read that already. Verse 26. Ephesians 4, verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not. And that's part of this truth. This is not his understanding. We're very, very, very angry men. We have what you call a righteous anger. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me if I'm angry, when I'm angry, inside joke. But be ye angry and sin not. So we have a righteous anger, but we don't go out there and, try to red rum Esau or Amalek, right? Be ye angry and sin not. Because when you're angry, you filter your thoughts and your feelings through scriptures. So be ye angry, and sin not. Have a righteous anger. Why? Because Anger is good. Anger gets shit done. Righteous anger is good. Righteous anger gets shit done. Excuse my Hebrew. Be ye angry, definitely, and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Right? Point blank, period. Here's the last verse, Ephesians 4, verse 27. Neither give place to the devil, the spiritual demon Satan, as well as Esau Edom, following Caesar Borgia, Dalai Lama Buddha, Ahai, Ashai, Yeshua, Yahuwah, obeying your flesh. What's the number one saying now? Obey your flesh. You only live once. Have it your way, right? Neither give place to the devil, point blank, period. Because if you walk in the spirit, you will not fulfill the lust of the flesh. That was Ephesians 4, I believe, 16 through 27. Well, a couple more and I'm out. 2 Peter 3, verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. Everything you look around. Right now, look around. Everything you see is going to be dissolved via ICBM and thermonuclear missile fire. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person in 2026 ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Meaning, I can talk Laker basketball for 5 minutes and talk this truth for 5 hours. Because every time I start talking sports with brothers, I start getting to the scriptures. That's why I don't have a lot of friends that I talk about sports with, except the brothers in this truth that like sports, because it leads to the truth. We'll start off talking about the Lakers, the Raiders, baseball, the Dodgers. All of a sudden, within 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes of the conversation, we done brought out precepts. So what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness in 2026? Point blank, period. That was 2 Peter 3, verse 11. Did I read this already? Isaiah 42, verse 9 and 10. Isaiah 42, verse 9 and 10. Behold, see, the former things are come to pass, the prophecies. The former things, which are the prophecies, are come to pass in 2026. And new things do I declare to his prophets. What's that, Amos? My servants to prophets. Damn, is that Amos 3? I don't know. I think it's Amos 3. Bear with me. I believe that's Amos 3, isn't it? Before I to my servants to prophets, is it? Right. Amos 3 and 7. Now hold on. Let me go back. Isaiah 42 and 9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, the prophecies, and new things do I declare through his prophets. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them through his prophets. And Lord willing, I'm part of that number. Me, King Rayab on the comment board, Yawasap, Mashiach, Muwatazak, Yalad, Tahar, all the prophets. Lord willing, we're part of that number. And let me back that up. Isaiah 42 and 9, Amos 3 and 7 backs that up. Surely, guaranteed, the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai power will do nothing, those former things, those new things. But he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So we have the answers to the tests, and we're telling you of them. So let's read it again. Isaiah 42 and 9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare through his prophets. Before they spring forth, the prophecies from the prophets, I tell you of them through his prophets. See, the men of great millstone, the men of black doctrine, and Lord willing, I'm part of a number of prophets. We are the mouths, the mouthpiece, the hands, the eyes, the ears, the feet of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. He speaks through us. But that's the problem. Jake, Keisha, Latino, Christian, backslider, you don't believe that. Out of order family member. You don't believe that we're prophets with that swine's flesh in your teeth and that iodine in your blood. Verse 10, Isaiah 42 and 10. Sing unto the Lord Yahweh a new song. Remember, it's a new song, but it's an old song. And his praise from the end of the earth via the internet, ye that go down to the sea, to the people, and all that is therein, the isles and of the inhabitants of the and the inhabitants thereof. And that's what the Men of Great Millstone and the Men of Black Doctrine, that's what we do via the internet. We praise Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah from the ends of the earth via the internet. That was Isaiah 42, verse 9 and 10. This is Isaiah 43 and 19. Behold, see, I will do a new thing in 2026 in America, in your spirit. Now it shall spring forth in 2026. Shall ye not know it? Even I, slightly a little excited, I will even make a way in the wilderness, and that wilderness will be Jacob's trouble. That will be that fire, that temptation, that pressure, those afflictions, that hardness, that endurance that we got to go through. And the rivers in the desert. Ain't nothing like a river in the desert. And we're going to need that river in the desert in 2026. That was Isaiah 43 and 19. Ephesians 2. Ephesians 2, verse 1 through 3. Ephesians 2, verse 1 through 3. And you, the new you, has he quickened, made alive, who were dead in trespasses and sins, being a Christian, being a backslider, being a whoremonger, being an adulterer, being a swine's flesh eater, being a beta male, being a lesbian, who were dead in trespasses and sins, being a prosperity gospel loving Christian. Ephesians 2, verse 2, wherein in times past you walked according to the course of this world. Christianity and Catholicism allows you to walk in the course of this world. Where in times past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, Esau Edom, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. You were at one time a child of disobedience, following, obeying your flesh, walking in the course of this world, being a prosperity gospel loving Negro Christian, Latino Christian, an adulterer, a swine's flesh eater, a whoremonger, a beta male, lesbian. Third verse, Ephesians 2, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past in the lust of our flesh. You go to the barbershop. That's why I don't go to the barbershop no more. One of the main reasons is because they charge too much to cut my hair. So I cut it myself. But when I did go to the barbershop, all they talked about was BS, bro. Women, politics, how to make some money. It was all folly. How much more the world? The world is like a open barbershop full of all kind of worldly, lustful, foolish, folly conversation. Let's read it again. Among whom, Ephesians 2, verse 3, among whom also we had our conversation in times past in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind with your conversation. You talk about marijuana, you find yourself smoking it. You're talking about laying with that dude that you see in the club. Now you talk about it. Now you're at his house. You're talking about cooking something, eating some pork ribs. Now you find yourself eating some, right? It says, fulfilling the desires of the flesh of the mind, and were by nature, when you were wicked, and by nature children of wrath, even as others in this wicked, carnal, sinful, evil world. That was Ephesians 2, verse 1 through 3. A couple more and I'm out. Romans 8. Romans 8. Romans 8, verse 4 through 9. That the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. That's important. 5th verse. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. Oh, brother, it's okay for me to blow my top off with marijuana all day, big blunt smoking. It's okay for me to let every man I meet at the club blow my back out. It's okay for me to be a beta male. It's okay for me to be a lesbian. It's okay for me to worship Caesar Borgia and hella days. For Romans 8, verse 5, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. All we care about is what the spirit wants us to do, not what the flesh wants us to do. Romans 8, verse 6, that's part of that new you. For to be carnally minded, carnal, carnasada, flesh, carne, flesh. To be fleshly minded is death, point blank, period. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace in 2026. 7th verse, Romans 8. This is why, because the carnal, fleshly mind is enmity against the Most High Yahweh. For it is not subject, the flesh, your mind, is not subject, is not under the order to the law of Yahweh, neither indeed can be. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. That's why we must die daily to our flesh. That's why we need new fleshly bodies in order to live in righteousness forever. 8th verse, Romans 8. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Yahweh, point blank, period. But ye are not in the flesh in 2026, the new you, but in the spirit, the new you. If so be that the spirit, the new you of Yahweh dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Mashiach, he is none of his. You see? So now the spirit is in you now. The new you that does not walk after the flesh, but walk after the spirit. That was Romans 8, verse 4 through 9. I think I'm going to close out on that. It's your brother Kawas Malak. Hope the lesson was edifying and to the point. The brothers on the comment board, King Rayab, Strive for Masters 144, subscribe and be edified. Pray the lesson was edifying and to the point. I got a video. Barakati Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Arakak Wadash. Once again, double honors to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone that taught me this truth, that rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful 144 elect. Copyright Act of 1976, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
And once again, if I didn't say, I can't remember, but once again, double honors to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone that taught me this truth, that rule well. Peace and salutation to the whole 144 elect. Got a video for you. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use.
1 Peter 4. For as much then as Christ hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lusts of men, but to the will of God. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children, my son. Despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards, and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Wherefore lift up the hands which hang down, and the feeble knees, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
All right, Israel. To you I say Shalom and Abad Babal DTA. Shalom. The water for the comments on the comment board. Yabasha Barakatah, Barakatham, you and your household. Shalom, Shalom, Abad Babal DTA.